Alright, we are on the play with Rug Delver, match 5 of this league. I remembered, look at me go, this is a keep. We've got 3 threats, 2 lands, a piece of interaction, and a cantrip. I like it quite a bit. We're going to go turn 1 Delver, turn 2 who knows, the world is our oyster. Waiting to see if the opponent keeps or not. Our opponent's username is WerePossum. That's pretty funny. It doesn't zoom in on the icon. I really wanted to know if that was some sort of werewolf, were-creature, any sort of lycanthrope. That's pretty funny. Anyways, turn 1 Delver, kick it back to the opponent, and see what's up. Given that neither of the 2 lands we started with were fetch lands, this Tarmogoyf actually might not be great. Right now, just sitting at a pretty awful 0-1. Well, if they take out the first Delver with something like a sorcery, I'm going to be pretty happy. The opponent starting off on a basic island. Vapor Snag, something we're going to reveal. I like that. We're definitely getting in for 1. The opponent starting off on a basic island makes me not really care to have Tarfire up. I guess they could be on Merfolk. I really want to play this Delver. Basic island, we're going to be playing around Spell Snare here, so I don't want to slam Goyf. We also may as well play around any damage-based removal. Here is an Opt. Okay, we're playing against an Opt deck. That's fine. And I think most decks with Opt care about us having Tarfire. But unless the opponent's on Delver, then it's probably not relevant. And if they are on Delver, then I probably want to save the life, so I don't think we're going to shock here. I think we just pass to the opponent. Delver transforming was great. The opponent with a basic mountain. Spreading Seas on our green source. Okay. This could be... Oh, this might be a Blue Moon-ish deck. I could see that. Wooded Foothills, a fantastic pickup. Going to make Goyf great again. We also had the option to get rid of that with Thought Scour, but I think I'd rather get in there. Let's play this Foothills, crack it, slam Goyf off of a basic forest. Our life total... definitely non-zero relevant, and we'll hold up Tarfire and Friends. We want to be able to cast the Tarfire in case the opponent has a Lightning Bolt here. Steam Vents tapped is very good for us. I'm expecting something like Blood Moon, Through the Breach, that sort of deck. We're not going to Thought Scour here because we have this Delver that we can try to transform, or at least scry with. How good is the 4th land? It's really not great, I don't think. I believe I'd rather just scour here. We hit the 4th land anyways, and we found a Spell Snare, which actually isn't bad. Tarmogoyf didn't get any bigger. I believe we do want to play this, get some Delver Scry, have an extra blue source. We get in with everything. If they flash in a Snapcaster Mage to trade with Delver, I'm pretty okay with it. They take 6. Go to the opponent. We look to be in a good spot. Not sure what the opponent is actually playing here. Cryptic Command actually going to be pretty bad for us. Mishra's Bauble, sure. We'll pick that up. We may as well cast it. Help Delver out. Help Tarmogoyf out. At our leisure. We may not be cracking this anytime soon. Really depends on the context of the game. We're going to swing with everything to start off with. I'm expecting a Cryptic Command here. Given that if they don't have the Cryptic Command, we basically win on the spot. 3 blue, 1 red. It's a Cryptic. They're going to tap everything, draw a card. That's perfectly fine. I wonder if I want to use the Flooded Strand now. We have enough blue. Unless we're playing around something like a Remand, I don't think we care. We're going to wait until the end step to bobble ourselves, grow Tarmogoyf, help that Delver transform. If the opponent shocks here, they could be in trouble. Nothing doing yet. Let's take a look at the top card of our library. It is a Hooting Mandrills. I actually want that. Delver is going to hit the stack first. Let's draw Mandrills. See if Delver can transform. The opponent with Cryptic Command up. It's a Tarmogoyf. We're not going to reveal it. We do have threats for days. We are at least somewhat soft to Through the Breach Emrakul here. If they do have Cryptic Command, which it looks like they do. So I think our game plan is going to be get as many permanents into play as possible to make sure we can survive the Annihilator trigger. Which means I want to get a basic island here and play Tarmogoyf. Very important that we stay at 16 or more to make sure that Emrakul doesn't kill us in one swing. Spell Snare and Vapor Snag. Definitely relevant cards to have up. Maybe not that great. So far they've been quite poor. We have quite a few creatures. No interaction for the Cryptic Commands yet. Stubborn Denial and Mana Leak have been eluding us. Here's a Visions. We may as well show it off. Just in case they run out of Cryptic Commands and they end up having to use spot removal. I will gladly use Serum Visions. If they have Snap Cryptic, we're going to be very enthusiastic at Spell Snaring. It makes sense for them to try to resolve this with Visions on the stack. That's a lot of mana. Torrential Gearhulk. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Torrential Gearhulk. Flashback Cryptic Command. That's pretty good. That... That's going to make Through the Breach Emrakul lethal if they have it. I don't think Through the Breach would play Torrential Gearhulk, but it might. Counter tap. Okay. Well, we can't fight that. We can bounce the Torrential Gearhulk, but I don't think I want to do that until they're trying to murder us. So I believe we just play Mandrills and say go. Land. I want to keep these Goyfs relatively large. Snapcaster Mage also at least somewhat important. We can afford to get rid of the instants. We'll leave one land. Tarfire actually going to grow our graveyard, so I think I can live with getting rid of all of the lands. The game plan here is going to be keep Delirium as live as possible if we can, so that we can traverse for a Snapcaster Mage in the attempt to burn them out. Tarfire, traverse, snap Tarfire. That actually is going to be quite difficult to do. Here is what looks like a Through the Breach. And if it is, we're going to try Vapor Snagging this Gearhulk. It's a Kiki-Jiki. Wow. Okay. Kiki-Jiki actually doesn't scare us, given that we have the Vapor Snag in hand, so I think we let it resolve, and we just have the Vapor Snag for... Ooh, they're playing Temur. Not quite a pseudo mirror, but somewhat close. As soon as they try to activate the Kiki-Jiki, we're going to bounce the Gearhulk. And we'll just fizzle that ability. They might have a Dispel. That's possible. Do they actually have Dispel? They don't have Dispel. They have Dispel. Alright, main deck Dispel for the opponent. Good for them. We couldn't have stopped that then. This is going to be a Cryptic Command. And I believe that's going to make me very much want to Tarfire the Kiki-Jiki. They're going to tap everything again. Actually, we probably wait until we draw a card, because if Lightning Bolt is on top of our deck, we just... No, we don't have double red. Lightning Bolt's on top of our deck. Tilt. Tilt. Okay. So... Kiki-Jiki, Torrential Gearhulk basically means we can't profitably burn them out anyways because of Dispel, so I think I'm going to Tarfire Kiki-Jiki anyways. Just keep the Lightning Bolt in hand. They're going to get rid of a Gearhulk, and if they have Through the Breach, we're just dead. 6/7 Tarmogoyfs. Artifact and Tribal being the special card types. Special as in not creature, sorcery, instant land. The 4 typical ones you see in modern graveyards. So our opponent appears to be on some sort of Temur control deck. I think we can assume that the extremely light green splash here is for Ancient Grudge, or something to that effect, but I don't actually know. It's going to be quite difficult for us to actually know. Well, it looks like we're not just dead. I like that. Strange of them to not attack with Gearhulk if they have another Cryptic. What do we got here? Vendilion Click? Do we just let that resolve, or do we want a Thought Scour here in response? If we Thought Scour in response, they can click away whatever we draw. I also kind of like bolting them with Click on the Stack. Then again, them getting rid of the Click, not that bad. We might want to bolt the Click with this trigger on the stack. Who did they target? They targeted themselves. Okay. That we're not going to interact with. We'll see what they shuffle away. Looks like they're hoping to draw a Cryptic command. They got rid of a Remand. Did they hit Cryptic? That would be pretty sweet. They hit Pestermite. Are we playing against... Oh, they have Kiki-Jiki. What am I saying? Of course we're playing against some non-zero amount of twinness. Pestermite's going to try to tap down one of our dudes, so I think we want to Thought Scour ourselves here. We hit Visions. Pestermite tapping down a Tarmogoyf. Makes quite a bit of sense, given that those Goyfs are 6/7s. I believe we get in with everything else. They block 3 dudes. Lightning Bolt is lethal. Yeah, we may as well go for it. We are dead to Kiki-Jiki, making infinite Pestermites. We're dead to Through the Breach, but it doesn't look like the opponent's on Through the Breach. They're chumping Goyf with one of those. That makes sense. They get to eat Mandrills this way. This is perfectly fine. After this happens, we're going to attempt to Lightning Bolt them. We're not going to cast Visions just in case having Spell Snare in hand is relevant. So let's go for that. Just in case they have something like Remand. Negate. That's a 2-mana spell. And Bolt resolves. Bolt resolves. Fantastic. Okay. So match 5. Up a game against... I want to say just blue-red control, but it's basically blue-red twin. Kinda, sorta. Alright, what do we want to do against that deck? Is it even on MTG Goldfish? I'm going to scan through trying to find things that are blue-red. It's not Breach. They're not playing Breach. We've played against that deck. Blue-red. Okay. There's a blue-red deck. What's it look like? Snapcaster Mage, Exarch, Pestermite, Kiki, Torrential Gearhulk. Here we go. Alright. Not the same person. Would have been really funny if it was the same person. Main deck Dispel, main deck Negate, Remand, Cryptic. Okay. I think we can assume this is the archetype. Spreading Seas, it's basically Blue Moon. Cryptic Command. So Cryptic Command's over here. We have Twin Combo, we have Cryptic, we have Land Hate. So that's what our opponent's on, with some nice grindy stuff. Copying Torrential Gearhulk with Kiki-Jiki, very cool. Very cool. Alright, we know what the opponent is on, roughly. Let's sideboard for it. Disrupting Shoal looks kind of bad. It can counter Dispels, Bolts, not great I don't think. Mountain seems pretty decent. I like the Huntmasters and the Bedlam Reveler. Pyroclasm, actually they have a lot of 1 and 2 toughness dudes. Snapcaster Mages, not Exarch. The Pestermites though, Vendilion Click, which isn't in this person's list, but they do have it. Kiki-Jiki. Wow. Okay, so apparently pronouncing Pyroclasm was very difficult for me just now. Pyroclasm I don't think going to be good enough. Melody doesn't look great. Flash Freeze sounds fantastic. And the rejections also seem rather poor. I think Revelry and Ancient Grudge are going to be worth it. Torrential Gearhulk is an artifact. Revelry can hit Blood Moon Spreading Seas. And Blue Moon style decks are known for boarding into artifact-based disruption, or I guess just mainboarding it in the first place. Things like Vidalcan Shackles, Batter Skull, that sort of thing. Let's look at what to cut. Forked Bolt actually looks pretty good against them. Vapor Snag I think is worth cutting. Traverse I want. Nux is probably going to be a little slow. We're going to have to be kind of fast here. Dismember may be worth it, probably not. Couple Thought Scours can go. One more card. Quickly. Let's just call it the Ancient Grudge and submit. Nux is kind of good against control decks, but it's also a little slow. I don't know if I want it. It's mana intensive against a deck that's looking to Blood Moon and Spreading Seas us. I don't like this hand. It's very light on threats. It has some decent interaction. It's got great lands. This hand has lands that are just as great. It has decent interaction, a cantrip, and a great threat. We're going to leave Thought Scour on top. Probably do that on turn 1. Go to the opponent. Opponent starting off on Serum Visions. That's fine. We're probably going to go Misty Rainforest, go. Try to Thought Scour, that way we can get a Mandrills out early. But we also might want to just go for turn 3 Mandrills with Flash Freeze up. That doesn't look so bad. That would make me want to go Misty, fetch an island, get a Serum Visions out there, which looks better. If the opponent taps out next turn, Mandrills looks fantastic. If they don't, Mandrills looks a lot less fantastic. I think we're just going to pass the turn here. I kind of like going for the early Mandrills. Here's a Visions for the opponent. That means they won't be able to remand or mana leak our Mandrills, which is something I like. Does this sort of deck often run Vapor Snag effects? It doesn't look like it. Hard removal for the control deck. At least that's what we're expecting. Which is something I like, because that means once Mandrills resolves, it should be at least somewhat difficult for the opponent to remove. Relic, going to mean no fast Mandrills for us. I think we still might go for it. If they exile the Misty, we're going to be able to Thought Scour for 3 cards. Foothills for 1, that's fine. I can live with 1 card being exiled from our graveyard. We're going to play around Blood Moon here. We are definitely expecting our opponent to have Blood Moon. We found a Bedlam Reveler, which is actually extremely awkward. We're looking to play around Blood Moon and delve away our entire graveyard. Whoops, get rid of a Wooded Foothills. So we actually don't plan on getting any red sources whatsoever. I want to make sure Blood Moon is very bad for the opponent. I'm going to get a basic forest here. Cast Mandrills. I'm not going to leave the graveyard for Goyf and Reveler because that relic is going to give them a very bad time. We're just going to slam Mandrills and say go. Next turn we've got Visions and Flash Freeze, which looks pretty nice. The opponent with Roast, that's fair. That is definitely fair. Actually, that was probably even in the list over here. Yeah, 2 Roast in the sideboard for this particular list. Roast is definitely something that the red mid-rangey decks tend to play when they're not playing Scred. Delver plus Goyf doesn't look so bad here. Goyf is going to die to a Stiff Breeze. So maybe that is kind of bad. Then again, Goyf is just always going to die to a Stiff Breeze. So I think we're going to do it anyways. If they have the Spell Snare, that's also fine. The opponent probably bolting something here. It's an Opt. Opt makes a lot of sense in Splinter Twin style shells. Actually, that would be very interesting if Twin gets unbanned to see it with Opt. I imagine they would still play a lot of Visions because Serum Visions is just a great card. Represent. But Opt is an instant, and that's not bad. The opponent saving the Burst of Relic and just using it to exile cards from their own graveyard. That's pretty neat. Bolting Goyf, that's not great, but it is fine. We have a Misty, which is great. Maybe not that great. Not the worst. I don't think we need to play around Blood Moon anymore. I think I'd rather start getting red sources. Let's get a Steam Vents, and I think we can afford to just leave it tapped. Our life total is definitely going to be relevant here. Maybe we just shock just in case. We're not playing against an aggro deck. Lightning Bolt actually not bad here. Denial looks a lot worse. Bolt we're going to throw on top. Transforms Delver. We're going to swing with our friendly neighborhood Delver of Secrets. If they have something like a Deceiver Exarch, actually, I just thought of that. Yeah, that was a bad attack. Don't make that attack. We can't Flash Freeze Deceiver Exarch. I was initially thinking Click, Pestermite. Those are fine. Exarch a lot worse for us. Especially with Lightning Bolt on top of our library. We deserve to lose this game. That was not played well. We're going to take one here. Well, we can bolt a Kiki-Jiki. We can also Flash Freeze a Kiki-Jiki, so that's somewhat moot. Bedlam Reveler might get us out of this somehow, some way. Relic's going to make that pretty hard. As long as they don't pop the Relic, Reveler has a chance. Once they pop the Relic, trying to get back up to 8 is going to be pretty difficult. We have 5 with this Misty. Bolt and Flash Freeze combine to bring our graveyard to 8. So we actually might be able to untap and Reveler here, which would be quite spectacular. It's very unlikely, but it would be so spectacular. Desolate Lighthouse for the opponent. Loot House, if you will. We're going to take one again. Probably get a Stomping Ground on our end step here. Our life total is very relevant now. If we end up having to shock for a red source that takes 2 turns off their clock, that's not something I like very much. If they have a Click, our Reveler is gone. That would be sad. Counter Magic also going to make Reveler pretty bad. Let's get the Stomping Ground. Yep. Exile the Misty. Pop Relic, okay. At least they did that before we used these. So there is a non-zero amount of consolation. Delver of Secrets, here we go. Maybe force the opponent to do some stuff. Delver probably not going to put any pressure whatsoever up here, but hey. Loot House activation. The opponent's going to be filling up their graveyard. Probably trying to find a way to close out this game before we can draw anything good, Or maybe just keeping their hand stocked with interaction. I like that they didn't want to lose their Exarch to Bolt. That's good. I won't reveal Delver of Secrets, but I'll certainly play it. They might have a Pyroclasm effect. I think I'm okay with a Pyroclasm effect, though. And you know what? Having 2 Delvers in play almost puts the onus on the opponent to close out the game, as opposed to us having to deal with their threat. Whereas the opponent currently has an Exarch in play, chipping away at our life total, and they have the threat of the combo, such that we need to deal with their Exarch or die, basically. Pestermite can't be countered, so that's fine. Sure. I don't think we're going to try to bolt any of these just yet. We could have gone for something there while they didn't have Cryptic Command up, but I'd rather try to fight them if/when they go for the combo. Firstly, that makes Flash Freeze much more relevant. Flash Freeze is doing a lot of nothing against these blue spells. And secondly, if they have something like a Dispel once they cast their Kiki-Jiki, we can have them counter our Flash Freeze, Bolt Kiki, and be in at least decent shape. Maybe not good shape, but decent shape. That makes me kind of want to go for bolting, though. Otherwise, we could be in a pretty bad spot. I think I want to go for it. They have Cryptic up. I mean, they're going to have Cryptic up forever and ever on man. I think we just try to deal with it. They probably just have a counter for the Lightning Bolt, but I think that's perfectly fine. Yep, we got a Dispel out of their hand. So there's that. That's okay. And we still have Flash Freeze if they do have the Kiki at some point. If these Delvers transform, we actually might leave them back. Well, they transformed. We're going to show off Spell Snare. It's a pretty nice card. You may have heard of it. Everyone should get to see Spell Snare. Okay, do we win this race? We're dead in 4 turns. They're dead in 3. Okay. I can roll with attacking at least once. Us sitting back and not attacking feels pretty bad. We're actually dead in 3 turns as well. Well, we can swing once. I can live with that. I don't really like sitting back on our heels here. If we don't do anything, the opponent just has a lot of time on their hands. If we are swinging, then they have considerably less time on their hands. They discarded a Blood Moon. Makes me pretty happy, confirming that the opponent is on some sort of Blood Moon shell, reaffirming my belief that we should be playing around the card. This is probably a swing with both. That or they want to play defense, a swing with just Exarch. Okay, that's acceptable. That makes sense. They want to save Pestermite for blocking. The opponent's still without a Kiki-Jiki. They've seen a lot of their deck. They're at 36 cards left. I really like playing against Twin. This is exciting magic right here. Draw step Vendilion Click, going to get rid of our Reveler probably. That or they're doing it to themselves. Targeting themselves, sure. They are really going through their deck here. Blood Moon revealed, Blood Moon gone. We may as well take that out of the revealed card zone just in case we need that at some point. They can trade with both of our Delvers here. Do we swing anyways? I don't know. I don't exactly like the idea of letting the opponent just have a lot of time on their hands. I don't think we're going to attack, though. Attacking isn't very good for us. It's not great for the opponent, but it's also not good for us. I think I'd rather sit back here, try to snap off a Kiki-Jiki with this Flash Freeze. If they have something like a Remand or a Negate, we have 2 Spell Snares. They know about one of those snares, so they're probably going to be playing around those. If they swing with Exarch, we can double block it. If they swing with the Flyers, they just trade with Delvers. So we're in a bit of a lock here with the opponent. Tarmogoyf, pretty decent. I'll cast it. Looks like they're going to loot, try to find an answer to Goyf. They discarded a third Blood Moon. Goyf resolved. Blood Moon making Goyf pretty decent here. And with Tarmogoyf as a 3-4, I kind of like sitting back a little more with these Delvers. Pretty soon Goyf's going to be able to just crunch in there. Now they might just have a roast, which would be unfortunate. At any point they could have Kiki-Jiki plus enough stuff to make sure it resolves. Looks like they're going for it. Well, they know about Spell Snare. So they're going to know once we cast this Flash Freeze whether or not the coast is clear. 5 mana. Here's a Kiki-Jiki. We're going to have to fight this on the stack, and we're going to see if the opponent wins. I want to leave up the Steam Vents just in case we can make them scared of Lightning Bolt. If they have a Dispel, that's going to be game. If it's just a Negate or a Remand, we can try to Snare. If they have both, well, geez. And they didn't have either. Kiki-Jiki is a creature in the graveyard. Goyf just became a 4-5, and attacking just got a lot better. We can almost cast Bedlam Reveler. Here is going to be a very nice Forked Bolt. We're going to try to keep as much blue mana as we can available. Well, that resolved. Deceiver Exarch probably going to chump block the Tarmogoyf. If they have another Exarch, which is pretty unlikely, Snapcaster Mage, we're going to Spell Snare. What would they even cast? Dispel? No, they would just chump block. We're going to counter that. If they had another Exarch, which they would have used to tap our Goyf, they could have chumped with this Exarch, even if they didn't tap the Goyf. Untap, Kiki-Jiki, GG's. As is, we knock the opponent down to 3. We're at least pretending we have Lightning Bolt in hand. The opponent's still very much live here. Jace, Architect of Thought. Well, we can't stop it, so it's going to resolve. 1, 2, 3, 4 instants and sorceries in our graveyard. Bedlam Reveler looking very good. Arrange cards into piles. So they effectively just Factor Fictioned here. It's a bad Factor Fiction because this is modern. Factor Fiction is not legal. They revealed the top 3 cards of their library. We're going to make 2 piles, and they're going to put one into hand, the other on the bottom. I imagine with Spell Snare in our hand, we don't care about Snapcaster Mage. So I would rather they take this pile than the Cryptic command. Cryptic actually gives them a turn. So do that. They probably pick Cryptic because it actually gives them a turn. They put Cryptic into hand. The other cards are gone. Kind of annoying that Cryptic's not in the revealed card zone. I mean, it was literally reveal is the first word of that ability, but anyways. Maybe I was just spoiled by the last couple days of noticing we could do that. There's a Lightning Bolt on top of our deck. Sweet. We're going to go to combat. They're going to cast Cryptic Command. We're going to Bolt Face. We didn't get to cast Reveler. That's sad. But I believe that's going to do it, so I guess I can't be that sad. No, I would rather win the game than have Joyce go to the graveyard. Bam! We just 4-1'd that league. 2-0ing against, I want to say it's Blue Moon. Blue Moon Kiki? Blue Moon Twin? Twinless Twin? Whatever you guys want to call it. We just did it. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Once again, playing against Twin, so fun, so much interactive back and forth. I love that matchup. I am very happy to play against Twinless Twin anytime it shows up. Thanks for watching, guys.